Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Mix at 3, and thank you for joining us on this hot Wednesday.
Happy Hump Day. Can I say that? I said it. But happy Hump Day.
Oh, my gosh.
Again, I said it twice.
The critics will be calling you now.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, okay. It's Wednesday, though. That's what they used to call it, right?
Yeah. No,
okay.
Kelly Hannah Harding sitting in for our vacationing Natalia. So, yeah, thanks again for joining us.
No problem. My pleasure.
Make the heat go away. You're the meteorologist.
Working on it.
Don't you have some say in this?
I just tell what it could be, but we all know that changes, so my control is kind of limited in this situation.
Okay.
I wish I could turn the AC on outside. We all need it. I know. Yeah. Turn the humidity down. That would also help.
I actually have family at my house right now that's from out of town, and it's because there are so many people, and maybe I also need to get my AC checked as well, but I had to turn it off twice in the last 2 days because it froze. Because it's working so hard, it's working in overtime, and I'm sure there are viewers out there that are having the same issues right now. Guess what? It's not going away for a while.
Unfortunately.
No, I have a feeling we're going to be in triple digits for a fair amount of the summer.
Yes, we're not even really into the peak of heating for the summertime. This is above average, but again, with some research I did, typically we do see things start to heat up the end of June going into July, but either way, it's still very hot early in summer.
Well, they took that to heart. I can tell you that. Your dog days of summer got here a little too quickly for summer.
For sure.
Got a good show here coming up for you today. We're going to be talking about a number of different items. Also, some entertainment news coming up as well. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. We talked about this today on Morning Mix. Taylor and I did.
Yes.
I don't do TikTok. First of all.
Me either.
And this is one of the reasons why. Health experts warning social media influencers, you know what? You're not a reliable source of medical information. Here's the deal. A lot of the nation is obviously dealing with extreme summer heat. Medical experts are concerned about false and potentially dangerous messages spreading online. So here's the deal on TikTok. There's a TikTok influencer who said people shouldn't wear sunscreen. That post was liked 36 million times.
Oof.
Another person on TikTok had a message seen by millions as well that said people who spend more time in the sun are less likely to get sunburned.
Oh, yeah, that makes total sense.
Not
really.
No. By the way, those two statements, very incorrect.
Definitely. No truth to that at all. As a meteorologist, the more you expose yourself to ultraviolet radiation, the higher your chances of getting skin cancer and just sunburn in general. But reports over the decades have shown the link between UV radiation and the sun and radiation from the sun and skin cancers. Basically what I just said. Doctors fear these false messages could result in health problems. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says less than 10% of men and 30% of women under the age of 30 properly use sunscreen as it is.
Well, I'm not in that age range, but I'll agree with that because I don't use it as well as I should. I think a lot of people don't use sunscreen as much as well as they should. Also, like the level of the SPF as well.
Right.
If you're going to be out, especially in this heat, wear as much SPF as you can, and also get as much fluid in you as well too.
Exactly.
Because
hydration is the key.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, moving on. Google is updating its online shopping tools ahead of the summer sales season and Amazon's Prime Day. Prime Day will fall on July 16th and July 17th. Google's updates to its shopping tools are meant to help find the best deals and lowest prices.
So those new tools will include an updated deals destination. So when you enter the search query shop deals, a carousel will pop up displaying deals across retailers, and you'll be able to see comparative pricing on any given item. Another tool update, it will be membership pricing. So if that's available, the results will show a retailer's normal price on a given item, and then it will also show you the discounted price for loyalty program members. So I guess, if you're with the Costco or Sam's or Walmart or something like that.
Right.
You can also use the updated tools to track price drops and get historical price averages as well. Now, I've got a membership with Amazon. I like the Prime Days. I'd like to wait. It's almost like a Black Friday every couple of months now.
Right.
And this will be good. We asked that question this morning on Morning Mix. Do you shop more online now, or do you still like to go to the stores?
Yeah.
And it really depended on what items you were looking for. I still like going to the stores and trying on clothes.
Exactly, because if you order, especially for, guys that are taller like myself, I don't want to order anything offline and then get it, and it's just, a size too small. For sure.
We put my jacket on him one time, and it was like Frankenstein.
that could happen from ordering online.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel you still going in the stores. I'm also a fan of Amazon Prime too. I'm a member as well, so I do like those Prime days. And
Hey, the only reason we're sitting down is because we're the same height now. He's about a foot and a half taller than me.
wow, I think they like that back then.
Yeah. Everybody's got an opinion. All right, coming up, we're going to be talking about childhood mental disorders, some warning signs, and what parents and caregivers can do. That's next here on Mix It 3. Come on down, big man. If you'll join us,
Oh, sure.
take a picture. Have you
in the middle.
All right.
You're watching Mix It 3. Mental health disorders in children can be difficult to identify, which can help make getting help and appropriate treatment challenging. The earlier they can be identified and begin treating a childhood disorder, the better the outcomes.
Well, we have Dr. Anna Wright with Augusta University. She's joining us in the Mix Studios with more information on this very important topic. Hi, Dr. Wright, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Great to be here.
So how do you define, Dr. Wright, how do you define disorder?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of buzzwords about neurodevelopmental differences, and people talk a lot about learning differences and being neurodivergent. But as a psychologist, what becomes a disorder is when there's a significant impairment. So for children, we're thinking about impairment in their home life, even at school, or even sometimes in their friendships. So something that is really impairing their ability to be a kid.
Definitely. And you kind of touched on it, but are there other things that can impact children's mental health?
Yeah, so, there's factors within children. So a lot of things are genetic or have a genetic component. But what we know is that there's tons of environmental things that also have an impact on kids' mental health. So for our youngest kids, a lot of the treatments and interventions really have to do with involving parents and getting other people involved. So there's family factors, community factors, things like good nutrition, access to health care, parental warmth, consistency, things like that are very important for outcomes for kids.
Dr. Wright, how many children, ballpark figure, do you think are impacted by this now?
So unfortunately, the CDC estimates that anywhere between 1 and 6 children between the ages of 2 and 8 has an identifiable mental, behavioral, or a developmental disorder.
Do you see that as an increase in recent years, or is it something that people just have been able to identify more?
I think it's both. I think that, there's a lot of things going on and kids are exposed to so many things now that they weren't in the past, but we also do a better job at picking up on things than we used to.
And what are some of the most common childhood disorders that you've come across or noticed?
Yeah, so the most common in kids from ages like 3 to 17 are ADHD, anxiety, and behavior disorders. We see more behavior disorders in our middle age range, so like 6 to 11. And then anxiety and depression, those diagnoses tend to increase as kids get older. Under 6, it's more of our developmental concerns, so kids that aren't speaking on time or have motor delays or even things like autism.
When should parents get concerned if they think they're noticing something going on?
Yeah, so early. We always say that the earlier you have a discussion with somebody like your pediatrician, the better. So reach out to someone that you trust, whether it's a child's teacher, your pastor, definitely your pediatrician. They're screening for things at regular intervals to see if something could be different in your child. But the earlier that you bring it up to somebody, the earlier that the kid can get help. And we know that early intervention is just critical.
For sure. Do you know if there are any resources that kids can have access to in schools? Because a lot of them are in school, likely.
Definitely. So schools are actually equipped to provide a lot of services to kids, and they have different systems of support built in. So often schools are looking for an educational impact on a child, but a lot of schools also have really good counseling services and social workers, people that support kids' mental health in schools too.
There's a great acronym called Take Note.
Yes.
Tell us what Take Note is.
Yeah, so
please.
that's something that the American Academy of Pediatrics puts out there for parents. So notice if anything seems to be off with your child. The O stands for observe, so kind of look for patterns around whatever you're seeing. The T stands for talk. So talk with other people to kind of validate your concerns. Is this something I'm seeing, or are other people seeing it as well? And then E is engage. So that's when you bring it up to the pediatrician, talk to someone that you trust, and get their advice.
And again, and you kind of mentioned this already, and also here, if somebody does think, if a parent thinks that they have a problem, if the child is being affected by this, what's the first thing that they should do?
Reach out to the pediatrician.
Right. Okay. Good information to keep in mind here.
Definitely.
Identifying and managing the disorder is Dr. Anna Wright. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me
appreciate it very
on.
much.
Thank you so much.
Coming up, we're heading to the Augusta Museum of History. We're going to show you a cool event that is taking place this summer right now, as a matter of fact. Stay with us. You're watching Mix at 3. We'll be right back. It is back by popular demand at the Augusta Museum of History. It's the 4th annual Great Building Showdown.
Wow, that sounds great. Our Shay Abden is there with more information on what to expect and how you can be a part of this great event. Hi, Shay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I am here at the Augusta Museum of History with Mark Laura, who is a part of this event and also a builder as well. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So for those who are not aware, what is the Great Building Showdown?
The Great Builder Showdown is an event held every year at the Augusta Museum of History, and it is a way to showcase local historic landmarks and recreations of them in Lego. And it is designed to not only showcase those types of structures, but also inspire people to learn not only about history, but then also design and build in Lego. This event is free to the public, and it's in the beautiful rotunda of the Augusta Museum of History. Although once you're down here, I think you might want to go through the rest of the museum too, because there's so much to see and do here.
Absolutely. They're going to kind of have an appetizer when it comes down to the rest of the museum.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, for people who are visiting, are there any, I guess, maybe do's and don'ts when it comes down to this whole event?
Well, the creations, unfortunately, you're not allowed to touch. We put a lot of time and effort into these recreations, and even though they're very tempting, we ask the public not to touch them. Okay. However, the museum has very graciously provided build tables so that if you want to come in, so for the kids, and I'm saying kids of all ages now, can actually exercise their creativity here, hopefully be inspired by some of our creations, and exercise their own creativity at the build table.
That's going to be a lot of fun, and like you mentioned, all age kids. So what would you say, we kind of talked about this earlier, that your spark of creativity just kind of comes at any moment. What was the product of some of those sparks of creativity in your process of building?
Well, I am an engineer by profession. Sometimes I'm inspired by engineering. The largest piece I did was a recreation of the U.S. Capitol Dome, and I was inspired by actually an engineering sketch done by the designer of the dome, which was added in the 1860s, and it is quite very literally an engineering sketch. And so that inspired me to recreate the Capitol Dome. But talking about 3D sculpture, my first 3D sculpture was actually a recreation of the James Brown statue for this competition and showcase here at the museum.
So today I'm speaking with Matthew Hines, who is a part of something called Bricks for Heroes. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. It's an idea my wife and I came up with a few years ago. One of my hobbies, our hobbies, is Lego, and it's very therapeutic. Like a lot of the population here, my wife and I are both veterans of multiple deployments, and with our ties to our kids and Legos as a kid growing up, it was very therapeutic to just put a set together. I also collect Star Wars Legos, and so I had a theme and a toy, and next thing you know, as I'm doing that, I'm just paying so much attention, everything else just kind of blurred out for a bit, and it was just very cathartic, and we kind of just started the idea. I had some friends at work whose spouses maybe had a little PTSD or severe symptoms, and if they had a theme of Lego they liked, we just let them borrow a set. And next you know, we're getting pictures of, here's my husband, 4 hours putting the set together, and he watched, slept real great, watched TV, and it was very calming, and so we just kind of went with it and started and have all the paperwork. Now it's just kind of a facility and time thing as our limit. But parents get together with kids. If their kids are into a certain Lego theme, there's dad and son and dad and daughter and mom, and all the kids can get together to have that little hour of time, and it's joining for them, it's calming, and they've built something. And then we have people who just tear them apart and organize them because it's just that calming effect.
Yeah. It's that whole kind of idle hands
100%.
Types of thing.
Yes,
now, how is that veteran program participating in this event that we're having this week?
So this one's a little bit smaller than some of the years in the past. I'll have friends come help build. Again, amazing designer in Mark, and he's helped design this set. I just don't have a lot of time, and so I have friends who are interested from the community or just Legos themselves, and they'll just come help me build. And it's just a bunch of 40, 50-year-old men playing with toys, but we leave and we joke, we don't have to be adults for that time period. We just, that inner kid, and we build beautiful things that, again, like Mark designs, and everyone just kind of leaves happy and we've created something. And then we get to show it off here at the museum and help the community out, Nancy and stuff, and everybody just kind of wins.
Now, if anyone's interested in participating in Bricks for Heroes or finding more information about that, if they're interested, where would they be able to go to find more information?
The easiest right now, we do have a Facebook page. It just hasn't been the most active just due to time. But if there is interest, Bricks for Heroes on Facebook, and I'm the only person really on it other than some friends, and message me and we'll see where it goes from there. That's the intent.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you all.
All right, appreciate it, Shay. That is so cool
Thank you,
to go
Shay.
out and check that out.
Definitely.
And you saw the Augusta National there. They had a Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
They had a number of other events down there. We were just talking. I went to the Joe Fest last weekend.
Yep.
Somebody had the Lego Millennium Falcon. It's like 3,300 pieces.
A lot of work,
I think.
a lot of time.
You best glue that sucker together.
I know.
Can you imagine if somebody just came by and went,
It just messed up all your hard work.
yeah.
That would be some pain right
that
there.
would be, both of us would be going to jail. Hey, if you're going to be planning on going to a concert this summer, you better make sure it's still scheduled. When Mix It 3 returns, we'll take a look at why a number of tours are canceling. We'll be right back. You're watching Mix It 3. Several high-profile music tour cancellations. They've sparked speculation about the future of concert touring.
The industry saw a major boom following the COVID-19 lockdown, no surprise. As Lee Waltman explains, those days could be coming to an end.
These cases indicate that some arena tours are not selling that well.
After a series of surprising tour cancellations, freelance journalist Zach Schoenfeld believes the post-pandemic touring bubble has burst.
People were really eager to get back to seeing live music, and as a result of that, prices for everything went up.
That rise in ticket prices could be one factor keeping audiences away, and it's not just concerts. A recent survey by KPMG found more consumers plan to spend less this summer on things like restaurants, travel, and entertainment. John Rosen, an adjunct professor of economics at the University of New Haven, says it could be the end of what economists called revenge spending.
By 2023, everybody was pretty comfortable it was over. Everybody had a lot of pent-up spending, and they spent it.
While big-name artists like Beyoncé and Taylor Swift have had successful world tours, less popular artists aren't finding the same level of demand. Schoenfeld says it's on the artists and their team now to reassess how to best take on this new era of touring.
Artists and their agents and their representatives, need to be savvy about finding the right size venue, and sometimes it's not an arena.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Yeah, the ticket prices have gone sky high and ridiculous. And also, like they said, some acts don't need to be in an arena. You can be in a smaller venue, and be sure you fill it up. But
Exactly.
Yeah, a number of acts, just like they said with Jennifer Lopez canceling her tour, the Black Keys have canceled their tour. There's a couple that are kind of faltering right now.
Yeah.
Whether we'll see them at the end of the summer touring or not, you never know.
That's tough right there to hear.
Continuing the music news here, Prince fans came together Friday in Minneapolis to celebrate Can't believe this. The 40th anniversary of the legendary album Purple Rain. The iconic movie and soundtrack propelled native son Prince Rogers Nelson and his band, The Revolution, to the top of the music industry.
The music from Purple Rain has proven to be timeless. True fans finally remember where they were when they first heard one of Prince's musical masterpieces. The big party took place in Minneapolis on Friday with an after party to follow. Saturday was the big block party where fans danced the day and night away with live performances by The Revolution, L'Amour, and much more.
Now, we were just talking a second ago we were saying about the 15th anniversary of Michael Jackson's death.
Yep.
And how old were you when that happened?
15.
Yeah, see.
Ironically.
In 1984, I was 12 or 13, so.
Like when this came out, when Prince dropped
Oh, yeah, when Purple Rain hit?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Music was never the same
You don't want to know where
after
I was.
1984.
I wasn't even.
I don't even, you know what? You didn't even need to go there. You know, you didn't even need to go there. Well, you knew it was going to happen at some point.
Oh, yeah, I took it
You know
there.
what, Mikhail, go to your room.
That was bad. On live TV.
Taylor
But you're not-
Swift
You don't
passed-
look your age, Cliff.
Well, thank you very much.
There you go.
Yeah,
Just
you
made
keep-
up for it. This is
keep
the
it up.
truth.
Keep going. Taylor Swift's past relationships and heartbreaks have been inspiration behind some of her biggest hits. But these days, she and her current boyfriend, of course, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, seem like a perfect match. The public romance has been well documented, obviously, and some might say it could make a great story for a Hollywood movie.
The Hallmark Channel, the NFL, Skydance Sports, and the Chiefs are banking on that. On Tuesday, they announced they are working on a holiday movie called Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. While the plot of the movie isn't based on Kelce and Swift's romance, it perhaps helped inspire the film. It is unclear if Swift or Kelce are directly involved in the project or if they gave it their blessing. Work on the movie is set to begin next month.
This is the only way that you're going to get an NFL fan to watch a Hallmark movie.
Exactly, though.
I mean, it's
They're
right
trying
up there
to
with
bridge
Hallmark
that
and
gap.
Lifetime movies and stuff. I mean, come on, really? This is. But the fact is, you have the NFL, you have Skydance Sports, you have all of these groups together.
They're in it.
Somebody thinks this is a good idea.
Exactly.
All right.
We'll see.
Hey, thanks for joining us here this
Thank y'all.
afternoon. Mikhail, thanks for joining with me here
Oh, yeah,
today.
no problem.
First and 4 on the way, Investigate TV Plus coming up next.